Hey everyone, I just want to take a minute if I can to talk about Champions Online. First off, this is really more of a first impressions than an actual review. The game's only been out for about 2 weeks when I'm recording this, and I've had it for a little less than that. But already I can say, and I'm sorry to say, that it's a little underwhelming. I had high hopes for it, I really did. It's from the same guys that developed City of Heroes, City of Villains, and I enjoy those. I'm not really an avid MMO player. I do enjoy them from time to time. I can't tell you how many times I've used those 10-day trials on World of Warcraft. Never really seemed to stick with them. The longest one I ever stuck with was City of Villains because it was really cool. Before they merged the two, City of Heroes, City of Villains. And so I had high hopes for this game. But I have to say, a lot of things it does right and a lot of things it does wrong. Don't get me wrong, I think it has potential. But, and again, we're so early into the process, it could very well get better. First off, we can say that the game has almost this desire to thrust everything at you at once. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if you think about it, let's say you create a character who is, let's say, a tank, a big, beefy dude, and you eventually down the line decide you want to turn him more into, let's say, a spellcaster. Well, in this game you can do that. You can actually have both. You can create, let's say, a mad scientist that summons demons. You can create a big, beefy dude that can shoot arrows. Lots of different combinations you can deal with. But the downside to that is that you lose a lot of strengths. And that's another thing. The game plays more like a single-player game in a lot of ways. And in that context, that's a pretty cool idea. But if you get into a situation that I think games like EverQuest and World of Warcraft kind of thrust upon us, the heavy emphasis on player versus player and player-run quests, that require multiple people to deal with, you really start speccing your characters in a game to play off the other members of your party's weaknesses and strengths. The downside in this is that the more options you have in customizing this character and taking away from archetypes of a tank, spellcaster, healer, whatever, you really lose a lot of strength. So you're not going to necessarily have what your friends would need in a PvP context or in running, an instance of some kind that required, whatever. So in that respect, it throws too much at you to be useful at times. It's kind of weird to say. But if you want to talk about some of the things that it thrusts at you aside from that, you get a lot of things in the game. There's a lot of interesting environments to deal with. You start off with the city, you get deserts, very icy environments, laboratories, things like that. All kinds of cool stuff. But again, too much at once, because let's say at the very start of the game, your first 5 levels of the game are in an instanced alien invasion. And right at the very end of this alien invasion, at level 5, they call you the hero of the city. So I was thinking, okay, I'm done. Let's go play something else. So I play games for the story, even MMOs. Like when I play World of Warcraft, I enjoy following the quests and reading the quests and things like that. The single player aspect of it. I'm not big on doing team runs or whatever you hip kids try to say. So, and if you're playing this game like it's a single player game where you just get all kinds of cool stuff progressively, you're going to enjoy it. One thing I didn't like about it, and it's kind of getting off topic, is the fact that it will barely run on my computer. And I don't have a very nice computer, I will say. I'm more of a console gamer for the most part. But it'll run World of Warcraft pretty well. It'll run City of Heroes pretty well. And I've tried both of those at various times. But this game, and it says right on the box, and they warned us way in advance that it had pretty high system requirements. And it does, quite a bit. It almost like it could run normally, but you run into the issue of there's so much going on in the background. They made the game very dynamic, and there's things going on all over the place. Things are blowing up in the background. Things are flying around in the backgrounds all the time. And it's pretty cool, except for when you try to run it on a low-end machine. So, take that for what it's worth. If you've got a high-end machine, it's going to look great to you. I wasn't a big fan of the cel-shaded look. I've never really been a big fan of cel-shaded looks. And this game, it does it to try to create a comic book feel, and I don't think it really succeeds. Especially on a low-end machine, it just looks awful. It looks like a PS1 title. Now, again, that's the one thing I want to point out, that the game has only been out for about 2 weeks. They're patching it every single day. And that's the other problem I want to mention, is that it's bugged out the ass. And I'm sorry to say that. I remember I had one mission in the starting area where I didn't even know it was a quest. I just kind of stumbled into this area where there was a big boss, took him out, and I had to rescue some superhero. Speedster or some kind. I forget his name. Kinetics. Kinetics was his name. Sorry. So once you rescue Kinetics, it gave me the quest to go rescue Kinetics. So I had to go back and do it again. I had to leave the area, come back. Someone else had rescued him. I had to come back again later because it had to wait for it to reset. And then I could rescue him and get the achievement, or get the quest completed, rather. The other thing is there are a lot of people out there who apparently use the name Invalid Identity Name. And I was having so much fun with that, I actually thought about changing my gamer tag to Invalid Identity Name. But, I mean, no one would get the joke, and somebody's probably going to beat me to it now anyway. So, Champions Online, the only thing I can really say about it, and I know this is kind of abrupt ending, but give it time. I mean, I don't think the game is just going to be bad forever. Like I said, they're patching it. They're trying to work out new things. New content is going to be coming down the pipe constantly. If City of Heroes and World of Warcraft are any indication. So come back. So if you've already bought it, finish out your 30 days. Just give it. Just be patient with it, really. And I wouldn't recommend paying for another month. And they also offer a $200 lifetime subscription fee, which I believe equates to a little more than a year's worth of monthly payments. I think. Dude, don't trust my math on that. But come back in a few months, I think. I'm gonna give it some time. I'm gonna play through my 30 days, and I'm probably gonna put it away. And then I'm going to come back to it, like I said, in a few months. That's really all I got to say about it, is just give it time. Man, just give it time. It's not great now, but it could very well be. However, I will say, if having played City of Heroes and Champions Online, the one thing I thought City of Heroes did wrong was that it followed the formula of EverQuest and World of Warcraft just a little too much, I think. It was very strict in its character development. You had the classes, and the quests were all instance, which I really liked about that game. Like I said, it gave it more of a single player feel, but without actually thrusting it at you. So it wasn't. It was more like you were playing a single player game with the option of playing with other people, even though playing it with more than 2 or 3 people at a time made it obscenely hard. And it's like they're trying to do that with this one, and it's not coming over too well, I think. But again, give it time. And thank you for your time. But one thing I want to say is after buying this, a few days later, I just went back and bought another one of these. So at least it sort of reignited my interest in... Upside down, by the way, sorry. Reignited my interest in MMOs a little bit. And... we'll see where that leads. But anyway, thank you for your time. I may do more of these if I get the time to do them. Appreciate you watching. See you next time. Oh, and by the way, I played this one too. And I liked it. For about a day.